Hey everyone, welcome back to Rewind by Affinity Streaming. I am Control, joined as always by Charlie. How are you, Charles?
Great. It's a nice day.
Awesome. Nice day, even though I haven't been outside yet because I'm podcasting for the people.
Yeah, the people want this.
The people
clamoring for.
clamoring for today's movie, Aliens.
Yeah.
1986, rated R, runtime of 2 hours and 34 minutes.
The director's cut.
The director's cut. And if you have not, which is the one we're talking about, correct? And if you have not seen this movie, spoilers are coming. And if you haven't seen this movie, shame on you. So, all right. But first, please, guys, follow us on our socials. They are at Affinity Streaming Podcast, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Follow, subscribe, like. Thank you. We appreciate it. Aliens, directed by James Cameron. I'm not too familiar with any of his works. Have you heard of this guy before?
No, he's some unknown director.
Unknown director, yeah. For Brandywine Productions and 20th Century Fox. Starring Sigourney Weaver as Ripley. This movie has a 98% critics on Rotten Tomatoes, a 94% audience, and a 7.4 on Film Affinity. I think this is the highest ranked Film Affinity movie we've done. Everything has been in the 60s. So this movie is actually a sequel to a 1979 movie called Alien. It was originally
some of you may have heard of it. I don't know.
Yeah, you may have heard of that one also. But
it came out 7 years. It came out 7 years after Alien.
Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth. A lot of people trying to get their paws in on this and not wanting to get it done. It was one of the highest grossing films in 1986. Aliens 2, released on July 18th, 1986. That big summer blockbuster. All right, Charlie. Is this a first watch or a rewatch for you?
Oh, this is a rewatch.
Rewatch?
I've seen it a few times. The first time I was pretty young, and it scared the shit out of me. And then I think the second time I was much older. I think I was like in college or something like that.
So this is a first watch of the theatrical. I mean the director's cut for me.
I don't know. Of course,
if it is. Everyone's seen the theatrical cut, but this was 1986, so I don't think I was old enough to see rated R movies yet.
No.
So I definitely didn't see it in the theater. So it was a post like home video type, and it was scary as heck.
So you were scared when you saw it the first time?
Probably. I mean, I don't remember. I don't scare easily, so it probably didn't scare me the first time. But it was more intense. It's intense.
This movie's really intense. It's not that scary, and they don't really go into much like gore or anything like that.
Right. There's like, a couple of jump scares. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly some jump scares and mostly just like the tension of like not really knowing what's happening, and then also that they don't really have that background like almost like a heartbeat noise whenever they have like the aliens coming closer.
Yeah. I was like, is there like something beeping on my broadcast, or was that I didn't realize it was like part of the thing.
Yeah. I thought that was great. It was like they had very minimal music, I noticed, but they had that pretty clear.
Yeah, they had a James Horner to do the music, but I guess he was rushed from reading about it, and he like didn't throw much in there.
Well, I thought it was fine because like it sets the mood like better to have very minimal, because it's just a colonist station, you know. It's this very minimal stuff, so I don't know, it kind of fits that there's minimal music too.
It was great, and it held up well. Like I don't know when the last time I watched it, but on the rewatch it held up great. Like there was no, unlike Gremlins last week where I was like, oh, this was like I had no minimal problems through the whole movie. It held up great.
Yeah. I mean, at parts it kind of slows down, but I think that more or less works for the movie, because you have these like high intense action scenes, and you kind of need a break where you kind of like
Yeah,
slow
and I feel like maybe
off.
the theatrical cut added. I mean, the director's cut added a couple things that may have slowed it down a little bit.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Now I'm kind of curious because I haven't seen this movie enough times to be able to go, oh, this is clearly not in the original, you know.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
There, I'll send you a link to a great article I read. It was like the
yeah,
10 biggest differences between
okay,
the
okay.
theatrical and
Because like,
director's
because
cut.
you were saying when you're reading, you were saying like they're not. There's no like major scenes that are different. It's like lots of like little moments that come up.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
I think is the way to do it. 'Cause
Yeah,
you have some of these directors cuts that are add like 20-minute scene that just ruins the movie.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Or even
yeah,
like they add some scene at the end that like totally changes the movie. It's like, oh, stop, man! You had it right the first time.
Screen Rant has a great article on the
Okay.
biggest differences if you want to check that out. So let's go through this. So um, we know Ripley was the only survivor of
Is she
the.
only Ripley in the first movie? I don't remember.
She was Ripley in this one too, but
No,
like,
no, but I mean, like, did anyone call her Ellen in the first one?
oh no, I don't think so.
Okay. It's like I don't
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, I don't
remember.
know what I call. So she had been asleep for 57 years apparently,
Yeah,
after escaping the first movie, and she gets here, and of course the no one believes her. They're just worried
yeah.
about their money.
I know. I thought that was like a great scene. Just I don't know. I guess that comes out of the '80s, where just like corporations are just evil. You know, it's like you gotta stick the corporate bad guy in the movie. That
Yeah,
was kind of funny.
I yeah, I just like I feel like it's so true though. Like even
Yeah,
on a smaller scale, like I'm sure you have like people who come down from the I retire into your business, and it's just like you don't know what you're talking about. You've never set foot in this office. How do you
yeah,
know how we run stuff? And it
yeah.
happens in my office every day. So
Yeah. But I thought that
um,
was great. They're going after her. They're like, you know, you blew up a ship that was very expensive. It was like
yeah.
50 years ago. Like you didn't know anymore. But like someone's still keeping records of like, oh shit, it's this girl. Oh, she blew up a ship. What's going on? We're revoking her. Like, do you think she just wants to be happy to be alive? Like you're like taking her license away.
I
It's like,
know, taking her license and like, yeah, you can't do anything. But then
yeah,
they realized, wait a minute. I guess the Paul Reiser character
yeah.
realized that she actually was onto something, so he gets this group to go back. I guess
No, I
I
think there's
couldn't
already a
tell.
colony there. That's the thing.
There's already a colony there,
Yeah.
but I guess so. He hears her story and then sends them to check it out. Is that what
I
happened?
I think that's what's going on. I'm not sure if they had noticed something and he realizes it's the ship. I'm a little unsure on that part, honestly.
Yeah, and I was wondering if the
I think
other
I think
tribunal
he
people know.
no, or like they didn't believe her story at all, but he believes it enough that he says, "Hey, why don't you guys go check it out?" That I
Right.
think because I have that scene. I think you said this was in the director's cut where like they're talking on the colony ship on the colony station. The guy's like, "I don't know why they tell us to do these things. They just tell us to go do them." You know, that's
Exactly.
yeah. So I
Exactly.
think he just said, "Hey, go to the spot and take a look," and
Right.
then all
And
that shit happened. so
damn
so
suits.
the real villain is corporate greed.
Damn. Yep. The damn suits. I wrote that down.
Yeah,
Corporate
I know.
greed
I have that later
fueled the
on.
whole thing. Corporate
Yeah,
greed.
yeah. The real monster is humans.
That's right. That's an interesting dilemma though. If you know there's a mindless bunch of animals that would kill you at the like drop of a hat, would you
Yeah.
try to preserve their race, or would you just be like, nah, they gotta go, survival of the fittest?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't go sticking my face into where I think they might be. That's like more of like a Star Trek question though. That's
Yeah,
been in Star Trek.
it's a good question.
Yeah,
So apparently they lose track contact with the colony after all this happens. So they
yeah.
decide to send the uh, the crew in, the
Space Marines.
Colonial Marines. Is that what they're called?
I don't what is that what they're called? I don't know. They're
I think
Space
so.
Marines.
Space Marine,
Yeah.
and they bring their android bishop along.
Yeah. And
Played
they
wonderfully by Lance Henriksen.
oh yeah, he's great. He has that kind of like aloof personality. It kind of feels like, I mean, he kind of plays off like an android,
Yeah,
but not without being so like super weird or robotic. Just kind of different, you know.
yeah. So
But I do like though. Sorry, I do like that he's like kind of one of like the crew, you know. He's like messing around with the guy doing like that knife trick thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he's like
I,
he's an android, and they know he's an android, but they treat him as
they don't
just
treat him
a
as
guy.
such. They treat him like a human. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and that kind of contrasts with how Ripley sees him because that other one like fucked her shit up, you know.
yeah,
so, so yeah,
I'm.
so she's like an android hater now. But I don't know. I think it's a good contrast. Like they trust him completely. You
Yeah.
know?
So let's go back to Newt's family first discovering the ship.
Yeah.
So I guess they didn't want anyone else to like stake claim to their findings on the ship, but
Yeah.
they like I don't know how moon colonies work because I've never been on one. But do you take your two kids out with you on your expedition into an alien ship?
Well, they didn't know it was an alien ship there.
Okay, they didn't know. They just
Yeah,
found this
probably
building.
they've been the way they talked was probably in that brief moment. I understood it was like they go on these trips all the time and they find basically nothing, or they find some rocks and bring it back. So it's like routine, you know. It's just like I don't know, like driving like to taking your kids to work. But like the kids basically live at work, so it's kind of like the line is
So you
blurred.
have to take it, yeah. See if
Yeah,
you're
because
in
like
the
because probably you can see kids running around in the station. They're probably like, just take your kids where when you go out, just keep them out of
nice,
trouble. You know?
yeah. And he said like, should we take a look inside? And I'm just like, no, don't go inside.
Yeah, I know. It's like yeah, I don't. But it's like I get it, right? If it's like the first alien ship that you know of that anyone's ever found, you're gonna be the first person to stick
You
your
mean
face
you
in.
want to be curious? You want to go in there?
Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
would, right? Like it'd
I
be you're
mm,
not gonna assume like, oh, there's gonna be in this abandoned ship there's gonna be something that's gonna attach itself to my face.
yeah. Well, now you know. Now you will be
Yeah,
if
I
you
guess
ran
now
across
that
the
thought
ship.
will be in my head of like,
Yeah,
something's gonna kill me.
yep. And when Paul Reiser comes back, he plays Carter Burke. When he comes back to ask Ripley to go with him,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way in hell I'm helping them. I'm like, no, man. You just like you just like embarrassed me in front of everybody, stripped me of my license, and now you
Yeah.
want me to go help you? Like, nah, man, I'm not going.
Yeah. If there's any complaints, that feels a little not that he asked, but that she decides to go. That feels a little strange. Like it
Yeah,
doesn't like she's having a nightmare and then she decides to go. Like I think the point is that she wants to overcome her
her
fears.
fear, yeah.
That's not
And
so defined.
I guess since she had nothing to live for on Earth, she was just or wherever they
Like
are.
I
She
don't
was
even think
just
they're on Earth. They're
yeah. I don't know where they were. I
yeah.
guess I don't know. Um. So anyway, so they get the Marines. They meet the
I do.
Marines.
I like the Marines. They all have kind of at
They're
least the
all
main Marines all
characters.
have like
Yeah.
a yeah they all have like a character. There's
Yep.
the God I don't know his name or even the character's name, but like the guy that black guy in charge, he like immediately comes out of cryo with like a cigar.
that's,
That was great. It's
that's
like immediately pulls a
yeah.
cigar out. It's like
Yeah.
dude, just woke up.
Sergeant Apone, I think was his name.
Yeah,
He woke up and first thing he had a cigar in his hand, and he
yeah.
was
He's
like
already like
he was a stereotypical Marine sergeant, just like
yeah, I know. He's like
get
giving
up, you
orders.
lazy bastards. Let's
Yeah. You want me to get you some slippers?
and the
Yeah, I
most
don't know. I like
yeah, and the most famous of the Marines was Bill Paxton.
yeah,
Bill, great Bill Paxton,
yeah,
playing the same role he played in like Weird Science, is like the douchey tough guy
yeah,
who then was the first one scared of everything.
yeah,
But anyway, so we meet the Marines. They
Yeah.
uh they decide for some reason to go. Well, I guess they have to go try and save civilians. I guess they've been told that they're going on a civilian rescue mission.
No, I think the way it is they. My understanding from that movie is that they're always told it could be some kind of alien, but they've gone before and obviously there's been nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So then, like, it's probably always like they were joking about, like, oh, it's just some like gotta rescue civilians from like I don't know, like a broken radio, you know. So I think it's probably always something like that, and they always send the Marines because it could be something, but it
Right.
never is, and so that's why they're all so joking around and not caring.
But once they land on that colony and they can't find anybody and it's completely empty, I think I'm calling in backup at that point. I don't know
Yeah, I was a
how.
little
Yeah, I don't know how military
yeah.
situations work,
Like
but
there's some things that are like a little bit of like horror movie stupid, where it's like, okay,
yeah,
why would you send everyone down to the planet with no way, no
back.
one up?
Yeah,
You would want someone up top. At least some people up top, some people in the ship, some people on the
yeah,
ground. You not a very well run Marine group.
yeah. They should have sent more people. I think just more people. But they find so the building is completely empty, and they're like, "Oh, the building is secure. Let's go." And
Yeah,
Ripley's just like, "What are you talking about? The
yeah.
building
Well,
is secure."
I think they're trying to because it was that one guy in charge who was he seemed more like
Who
by the
was
books.
useless? Yeah, Gorman.
Yeah,
He was useless. Yeah,
he seemed like what you were saying, that guy from the ivory tower who just shows up and is just like, "Oh, I'm in charge," you're gonna do.
barking orders. Yep.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He did like
Has
clearly.
never done anything.
Yeah, he clearly has no real like field experience, and he's just in charge just because the company probably put him in
Probably
charge.
nepotism. His dad's
Yeah,
probably a big shot somewhere.
or he's kissing ass in the right places.
That's right. So what? So they find Newt. While they're searching the thing.
Yeah, they almost shoot her too.
Almost shoot her. She's pretty fast. She was lucky that they didn't.
Yeah, she's faster than an alien.
Yeah. So they then go searching further, and I guess they turn on some tracker, and they find all the bodies of the colonists down in this sub level.
Yeah, that was a great scene. So like it opens up, they're like going in, they find the colonists, and they're just all cocooned up, and it's kind of gross and sticky.
Nope.
And
Nope.
yeah,
When I see the first one, I'm like, all right, let's back out and let's call in like 100 more Marines because this is insane.
something's up. Yeah,
Something's wrong.
like because they could see the signs that the colonists were fighting and they lost, and it's like, all right, they got overpowered. We should not go. Okay, maybe don't everyone go into the middle of the room too. I don't know.
Let's everyone go 3 sub levels down and just be in the middle of this.
Yeah. Why don't you guys like stay by the entrance and try and figure out what's going on?
Yeah, let's call some backup.
Yeah, but I guess they didn't have backup.
Yeah, but I feel like they should have been in constant communication with whoever arranged this mission. Like,
yeah, I think you can kind of wave some of that off though, because it's probably was it Berg? Bert? He was probably trying to keep it hush hush.
Paul Reiser was trying to keep it hush hush because she wanted to sell those aliens as biological weapons, which kind of made sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess you can say it was that. Oh, he brought these guys, and probably the lieutenant guy that he put in charge was probably in on it in some way.
And yeah, I thought maybe he may have been in on it, but at the end, I don't think he was. He was kind of redeemed with his sacrifice with the other lady.
Vasquez.
Vasquez.
just tough guy lady.
So that's interesting. So anyway, they all hell breaks loose. So basically, we're hiding and fighting from aliens.
Yeah, but that whole like fighting, because it's basically the first time it's the first time you see any aliens, and then they're just everywhere. And then it's like the fighting is great. Like people are dying, the cameras are going off in like the control room, and they can't even see what's going on.
Yeah, and then the guy panics, and Ripley takes over and gets them out, the few that survive.
it's great. Ripley's character is so good in this movie.
Yeah, she's
Like she
badass.
she's badass, but she still feels vulnerable. She's like kind of dealing with like the loss of her daughter,
Hmm.
and trying to reconnect with Newton, have like a new surrogate daughter. I don't know. It's great, but
Yeah,
she's still able to just take charge, and
she put
it's
her
not
fears in the back to
yeah.
act in the now. Good
Yeah,
old
and
Ripley.
actually, and I was thinking about it now. It's like it's interesting, like her character, and you compare it to like Vasquez, who's also she's also a woman, but they're just played completely differently. You know, Vasquez is just like a woman playing like a man.
Yeah,
It's just
she's a straight up
yeah,
Marine.
yeah. But then like you have Ripley, who's I mean, she's trying to be a mother still. Like I don't know,
Yeah,
she's still
yeah,
a woman. She's not just, and she's still like a real fully fleshed character. I think
and
it's
that's
interesting.
yeah, and that's when we realize that Paul Reiser is a bad guy when she's trying to comfort Newt and sleeping under the bed with him.
Yeah,
With the bed with her. She realizes her gun is gone and they're locked in the room with these face huggers,
yeah.
and and that's when it all breaks loose and they get rescued. And then they're trying to get off. So what happens? So she accuses Burke of trying to kill them.
Well,
Um,
you're missing. We're missing some stuff. So they rescue the Marines, some of the Marines, from the colonists area where all of them were captive. She like
yes,
she goes driving along. That was
driving
great.
through the wall. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, she's like they're trapped. They can't get out, and so she makes a way out. It's great. I
Yeah,
mean, I can go on and on about that because I just love that whole action scene.
yeah, it
And I
was
love how
good.
he's getting onto like the vehicle and he like shoves a gun in Alien's mouth and says, "Eat this." It's great.
And the acid blood eats them all up.
Yeah,
She got to be careful. Hey, remember, Charlie, you have to be careful when you kill those aliens because their
yeah,
blood is acid. So just remember that for the future. Okay.
yeah. I will.
All right. So then Bishop tells them that the drop ship damaged the power plant cooling system and everything's about to blow up. But so Bishop volunteers to climb
Yeah,
40 minutes through the tunnel to get the ship and bring
yeah.
it down.
I like how also they keep escalating the situation. And it's like, oh, okay, like we now there's aliens everywhere. Okay, now we're trapped. Okay, now we won't be able to last for like 2 or 3 weeks. Like, but maybe we can figure something out. And then, oh no, everything's gonna blow up in 4 hours. So,
Yeah, so they're trying to get through, and then that's when we get the
yeah,
redemption of Gorman. He blows himself and Vasquez up.
yeah. But like,
Um,
I like how like for like Ripley doesn't like she doesn't like androids, but I mean now she doesn't have a choice, but she doesn't really dwell on it. She's just like, all right, you can go. You're the one who can go. I'm gonna have to trust you, and that's it. And so she just
yeah,
sends them off. And also,
the
I
only
like
thing I,
that now she's basically in charge, more or less,
yeah, she
because
is.
like they well,
She's like
obviously they
telling the
believe
guy
her
what to
now.
do. Yeah, she has what's his name, Hicks, who likes
Yeah,
her, but she's ordering him around. She's running the show. She's
yeah. I
ordering
mean,
Hicks around.
he's still running it too, though.
He's
It's
doing
kind of like
whatever
a
she
code.
says. He's like, no, whatever Ripley says.
Yeah, because he trusts her.
He
Oh,
trusts
we
her.
missed the part. That's like the best part where they're like, we have to nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Like a classic line. It comes up.
yes. And of course, Paul Reiser's against that, but
Yeah,
he's he's greedy. I wanted
yeah,
to see him die a horrible death, though. I know they probably just took him to incubate him, but I wanted to see him get stabbed through the heart with a alien tail or something because he was just a
yeah,
jerk in this movie, trying to
yeah.
sneak them eggs back to the
Yeah, I'm
planet.
surprised. Like, why wouldn't you kill him? I don't understand.
Yeah, he's just like,
It's
yo,
like,
fuck
what
this
you're
guy,
gonna?
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
gonna like try and take a prisoner back with you? Like,
I
come
guess
on.
they were gonna kill him, and then the power went out, so they had to like,
No, they Ripley like stopped them. It's like, no, don't. Like, why?
oh yeah, I
Like,
don't buy that.
you don't need him. Do you trust him with a gun? No, I don't
I,
think so.
yeah, I wouldn't trust him either. If somebody locked me in a room with two face huggers, I would have been like, nah, kill that dude. Put him in a
Yeah,
room with face huggers.
Yeah.
Anyway, so somehow Newt gets separated, which screws up everything, and she's
Well, they
in
were
the
already screwed.
yeah,
Like
that was screwed up. Yeah, but
everyone was dead except for
yeah,
Ripley, Hicks, and Newt at that point.
yeah.
I like how they were like crawling through these like tunnels. Like Newt knows the way because she played through them, played with them, played in them as like a kid with all the other kids. You know,
And she survived
I
there
think it was a
like a
good
long
little
time.
touch.
Yeah,
Yeah, that too. But like, I think it was set up from when like you had like the kids running around like playing everywhere, and I think she
yeah,
even said when she was with her parents, like, oh, but everyone plays in those like tunnels, you know.
yeah.
So
Not
it was
as
like
not
set up.
as not a safe colony. Watch your
Yeah,
kids when you're on the moon
yeah. But I
colony.
like how like a lot of the things in the movie were like set up nicely in that way, you know, not like very obviously, but like the seeds are there,
Yeah,
you know.
and
Well written movie.
well, it was very well written movie. And when um, they in the process of trying to find Newt, they run across the queen and the eggs, and
Yeah, another great scene. It's so
it
gross.
was a great scene. Yeah, it was disgusting. And
Yeah,
Ripley
and
kind
I
of
love how
like
they.
yeah, Ripley kind of like talking with her eyes to the queen, like
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like you. It's
yeah,
I wrote in my notes, mom to mom. You know,
yeah, exactly,
she has her kid
exactly.
and she's threatening her kids, and you can
Yeah,
see like like she like the queen like pulls her like her guys
her
out.
guys
She's like,
back.
no,
She was
no,
like, all right, let him go, let him through.
yeah,
And then you could, and that's what Sigourney was so awesome in this movie. Her face like was like, okay, we're gonna just back out of here. And then she was like, you know what? Fuck
yeah,
these guys. And it just
yeah. That was great. She's like, nah, this
yeah.
isn't. No, we're not having a truce.
You see, she thought about it for a second. She was like, nah. That was great.
Yeah, that was
And,
great.
and it
And
was
finally, like
great.
Newt has to be the one. Like, come on, we need
We
to
gotta
go.
go.
Like,
Yeah,
what are you
you need
doing?
to stop killing these people. Let's go. Newt brought her back to reality. She just like, oh man.
Yeah.
We should mention Sigourney was nominated for Best Actress for this movie,
I mean, it's
although
well deserved.
she did not win.
She does. I mean, she does fantastic in this movie.
She does fantastic in a lot of stuff. She does. She's great.
Sure, but this one
That's,
she's great. She's like I said, it's a lot of it's the writing too, where it's like they make her character real well rounded. You know, they don't. It's so easy for a lot of these movies. I feel like to make it just like, oh, it's just the badass character, and like,
yeah.
don't give. But like, she still feels vulnerable. She feels human,
And
but also very.
her
Yeah.
facial expressions are great. Like her fear
Yeah,
and her anger were just like
yeah,
great.
and determination. You know,
And determination.
yeah, it
Yeah.
all kind of mixes together, and it's just it's so good.
She is awesome. She is awesome. So then she makes it to the ship. They're
Yeah,
off, and
wait, but I just wanted to say like that she's going up the elevator, and I guess the alien queen also goes up the other one, which just cracks me up. Like the alien queen's like, oh, huh. Yeah, let me wait for the elevator. She waits for the elevator and then gets on and waits for it to go up.
Yeah, that was.
I didn't remember that at all. I thought she just kind of climbs up or something. That's
like at super speed, climbed up the
yeah,
bed.
that's what I thought, but I didn't remember her like actually getting onto the elevator and like.
No, did you see in the director's cut? She actually like hit the elevator button with her like claw and waited for it.
Did that happen?
No, I'm just kidding.
No. I was like, I feel like that like I mean that must have happened in the story because like,
yeah,
she wrote it.
It had to have happened. Like how else would she have then pushed
Yeah.
like floor 3, please?
Yeah. Or she's like, oh shit, I pressed the wrong floor. God, now I have to wait like 3 floors. That's probably why she was delayed. You know, she accidentally pressed. She has big hands, so she pressed like 5 floors at once.
So she stops on like every floor before she.
Yeah, she's like, oh, God damn it! She's like hitting all the buttons.
Oh my god!
That's why Sigourney Weaver had time for Bishop to come back.
To come back, yeah.
Yeah, I like how they kind of play it because like they know in our heads like, oh, androids can't be trusted, and so they kind of playing that like, oh, he just left as soon as he could, but he comes back.
He comes
right
back
at the last minute as everything's exploding. He just comes back perfectly like.
Yep. But he did like grab some shrapnel, which probably led to the queen attaching herself to the ship.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I forgot that the queen attaches itself to the ship.
Oh, so it was a good surprise for you when you
I was like, I thought like I was like, oh, this is the director's cut. Did they just like cut that whole last scene out? Because I remember the part where she's like in like the mech suit thing. I
Yeah.
remember that part. I was like, oh, did they just cut it out? Like, what the
Yeah, I
hell's
kept
going
waiting
on?
for that. I didn't remember where it was in the movie, and
Yeah,
it's like, where's the
yeah.
mech
I was like,
suit? Yeah, I
yeah. I
was
was
like,
like,
or
what?
maybe that was Aliens 3 I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, what's going on? And then suddenly Bishop gets stabbed. I was like, oh wait, hold on, what am I? What did I miss? I was
So
also saying that the movie was almost over. I was like, oh, we're about to hit the credits in a moment.
yeah. So I'm guessing the alien can survive in space then, right? So
What?
because she hopped on the ship and they went up to their other spaceship.
Oh, yeah. I guess, but maybe for like a little bit. Maybe
I
she was like
mean,
in the landing
didn't
gear
they
or
say
something.
that flight was 50 minutes from the ship to the ground?
No, I think. Well, I don't know. I think that was like total. Actually, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know
I
actually.
have a feeling that that alien can survive in space.
To some degree, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
Maybe it was in the
so
landing gear. I don't know. But yeah, we do get to that final fight scene
we
though,
get to the final fight scene in the mech
where it's
suit.
like,
I thought it went on a little too long. Um, I don't know.
the actual fight.
Like her just like swinging the mech suit.
I don't know. I thought it was great.
Yeah,
It brings it
I
back
mean
to like
it
the
was great, but
she
yeah,
had her license in running those.
yeah,
So I thought it was great. Then I kind of again that thing just comes back again, and she's like, I like how she's like grabbing the head, and it's oh,
yeah.
but I
Did
didn't
like a
bring up the fucking alien moving sound effects that like what were they thinking? It's in like this whole movie, like all the aliens make those like movement noises, like
they're fast like kung fu. They're just fast.
I know, but it literally is that noise. Like what are you guys doing? Like nothing makes that noise in real life. Nothing.
Hey, 1986. You know, you work with what you have.
But that's like a cheesy like I don't know. It's like so bad.
It worked. It worked.
I don't think that way.
You
That's
didn't
like
get
that's
anything
actually
away.
like an actual complaint I have. They shouldn't
Uh,
have added those noises in.
the sound effects. All right,
Yeah, because it's
maybe.
so distracting when you have like I don't know an alien scuttling around that's making like noises. All of the like in like the face huggers like tails moving around like
It
no
just shows
it's
how
like
fast they are. It's
well,
just
for me
like
it's like deflating the tension where it's like this like goofy like I don't know like cartoon noise coming in.
it was showing their speed.
Yeah. But anyway, I love that line. The classic "Get away from her, you bitch."
Get over you, bitch.
Yeah, that line's great. That always gets me like a big like yeah. Like
And Bill Paxton's like, "Game over, man." I just remember
yeah,
that being video games when I was in the '90s.
yeah. Bill
So
Paxton's
anyway,
great.
yeah,
He's
Bill
like
Paxton's great.
he has like a little arc too where he gets he's like Mr. Tough Guy. He gets really scared. And then
And
at
then
the end, he kind of brings it back around, and he's like, "I'm going down. We're gonna fight our way through this."
Yeah,
He kind of his character like brings it together, and I appreciate that. Too bad he
yeah,
dies too.
yeah. Well, everybody has to die.
Not Hicks, Bishop.
Not well, not yet. Not until Alien 3. Uh, so anyway, they open up the cargo bay doors to suck the alien out. I don't know how. At first, I thought he ripped like Ripley's leg off.
Yeah.
It's like when I first saw it, I was like, "Did he like,
Yeah.
tear her leg off?"
That part's a little bit silly. Where it's like,
Yeah.
oh wow, she's fucking
super strong. Yeah,
to hold on with like a big ass alien on your foot.
Yeah.
Also, it's a little funny. Like it's just like a little alien hand, like holding on.
That's how she could press the elevator button with the little alien hand.
Yeah, I know, but it's just. I think it would have been better if the alien's just like I don't know, holding itself in some way, and it's trying to like kind of climb up, maybe, but it's and then maybe it falls on its own. It's a little silly. That's like holding onto her foot.
Yeah.
I get why they did it, but it looks silly.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem. The only time I like it held up well. The only time I kind of laughed is when like half of the body of the android is like blowing across the floor, and he's like with half of a body.
But I don't know. I liked that.
Yeah,
So
no, it was great because he ended up saving Newt.
Yeah, he's like
he-
proving himself. Like he's not like the other one.
he's not like the other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he grabs Newt and everything. He's like holding on, and you're like he's grabbing Newt. It's
yeah,
oh, and she's like holding on by like kind of hugging him. It's like, oh, that's great.
yeah. Awesome. So we enjoyed this movie. I take it. We both really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, and it really held up much better than I
Held up
thought.
really great.
Like I said, first I was like, oh, maybe like I was like going into it, like I liked it, but there's probably parts that I was like not remembering that. But no, it's just like the whole thing's a pretty good ride.
Yeah, it's a great ride.
Fun time. It's not really a horror movie anymore, but it's so much fun. So much fun action.
And it's highly recommended to anyone who has not seen it. Please go ahead and check. And I would say watch Alien 2. Watch Alien. Watch Aliens.
Yeah.
And if you really love them, you can go into Alien 3, which I did see in the theater. But just maybe stick with these. Stick with these two.
Maybe we'll talk about Alien 3 sometime.
Some other time. Maybe in year 10 of this podcast, we'll talk about Alien 3. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate you. I don't know what we're doing next, so just hang tight and you'll find out when we find out. It'll be a surprise to everyone. All right, guys. Have a good one. Take care.
Yeah, see ya.